rock. And I wouldn't be surprised that it has some type of some kind of magnetism thing to it. I wouldn't be surprised it's there for a reason. I don't think it was there by mere fluke. I wouldn't be surprised that the ancients of days with the Aboriginal people somehow crafted it somehow or other. You just don't get rocks like that just happening like that.
I assume there is legend in Australia concerning Ayers Rock, and I'm also wondering, Paul, if that would be worth researching and bringing to the edge as a correspondent.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah, I'll definitely. I most definitely will do that. I'll research more on that, and I'll definitely send you a presentation of that. Most definitely. Yeah. I could tell you spaced out stuff, but now's not the time.
Paul, you've got an Edge blog now. Have you entered anything into the blog, or are you going to update the blog for the listeners and viewers to catch up with your information?
Yes, I updated it. What I'd done was, as you know, Andy, I actually I was going to submit about the Rainbow Serpent of the Aboriginal of the Dreamtime of that.
Oh yeah.
And they actually believed, the Aboriginal people believed, like with any culture, that they believe that they're the first culture, and they call it the dream time, and all civilizations started on this kind of like continent before it all as to one mass. I mean, to them, you know, and all the mythological creatures of that time period.
That would be interesting, because I feel, regardless of a person's beliefs or a race's beliefs, the actual vibrancy of the differences of beliefs, if we can get them all together and see if there's a common denominator somewhere, a common peace, a common love, that might just bring about some tolerance, don't you think?
I reckon without a doubt. Yeah. I reckon without a doubt. If we could just see other people's belief systems for what they are and see them as the actual person, because I have to admit that the person's ground of being is not that of their religion, but rather their character structure. That's what I think, because a religion is not really the way of how a ground of being a person which they should be like. I believe religion is just an illusionary way of destruction of one's mind. I believe that, you know, how people always think they ought to be somewhere else when they should be focusing on the here and now, basically. Like, there is no such thing, as you know, Andy. I mean, of the future itself. You know, it's an illusionary thing.
Well, thanks very much for speaking to me, Paul. We look forward to your presentation, which I'm going to play now, and I look forward to more material coming from you in the future. I'll catch you later, Paul. Thank you very much indeed. Bye.
Bye.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? The age-old question. And so on and so on when it comes to what came first, creation or God. And it's quite obvious that, you know, the thought comes first, and then comes the material, which is a quite good enough analogy for one's mind in a carnal flesh body, because that's the only way we will ever be able to identify at all in this mind through our own body language. But yes, indeed. Anyhow, it's quite funny how we can't help but feel that our carnal fleshly bodies are somewhat all that there is at all. And really, the only person we serve is ourselves, and we can only become what we make ourselves to be. And to think that, gee whiz, my skeleton is the only thing I am. And that's the problem with many doctors. They see people as whatever the doctor appears to be studying, whether it be medicine or he's a skeleton guy or a surgeon and whatnot, but they see them and you're just a bucket of guts, and that's all you are. And people feel that way. And sometimes you can see their point of view, but indeed the universe does look at itself as many points of view, but ultimately the point of view has to come from somewhere, doesn't it? So therefore it would have to be God himself. And so I'm not about to worship any kind of creation, because ultimately there's definitely a higher source of just simply not needing to worry day after day after day. And this is my main moral of the point of this story for the Edge listeners, is well, basically what I'm trying to say is what Jesus said in the good news, that don't worry about what you're going to wear, and, what you're going to eat and where you're going to live. This isn't the kingdom anyway. There is no worry. I mean, Jesus himself, he didn't have a bed to lay upon, a head to rest upon. He had no worries. And simply, when Jesus cried out on the cross, my God, why have they forsaken me?" He was reciting. It was either from the book of Matthew or book of Mark, whatever it is. I know it's one of the two. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm positive it's one of the two. And he got that from Mark or Matthew. I forget which one. And I believe Jesus didn't even cry on the cross. He done it out of a labor of love. I really do believe that. And there's a couple of good instances where the way I read it, it sounds like he's having a little bit of fun, like having a joke. Actually, the way I read it sometimes, the reason why God himself tells you to read the Bible, basically, yourself, indeed, it's good to have leadership to point you the right way, because you can also, indeed, read a Bible a totally different storyline. But I've had countless points of view of the Bible where I've chosen, and someone might want to go, well, you're just cherry-picking the Bible, that type of thing, but no, you're commanded to read the Bible, the Scriptures, and find out for yourself. And with the aid of 5 very high-up scholars and spiritual teachers, but still keeping it to the Bible. Now, I think the Bible would be the best book, and probably is the best book ever written. Because I never realized just how much the Bible has got to say about, almost all of it. I mean, just what's happened so far. Because really, people will say, well, perhaps rightfully so, that, really the first chapter of the Bible is Genesis. Well, not quite. I believe it's a paragraph, sure. Every chapter of the Bible, I believe in my eyes, the way I read things, is like, it's like a paragraph. Even Revelation, it's like a paragraph. And simply what I'm getting to of this bit is, the whole Bible as itself is really one chapter of the whole book that's still going to be written. And, so, and so main storyline of this is, don't worry about anything, because God, Yahweh, I mean, you can call him what you want. Nevertheless, he made you. and he loves you,